All right, Anthony on Air podcast. We have another update on Ghislaine Maxwell. This time, the Attorney General for the U.S. Virgin Islands is getting involved in the case. Also,
Ooh.
is Joe Rogan being censored now that he's moved over to Spotify? We are going to talk about the Dancing with the Stars cast announcement and vacations. Jay Sab's here with us for it all. Good to see you again there, Jay Sabs.
You too.
The Attorney General of the U.S. Virgin Islands is going after the Epstein estate, accusing it of being an ongoing criminal enterprise. The Attorney General has asked a federal judge Tuesday to grant her intervention in order to review sealed court testimony given by alleged Epstein Madam Ghislaine Maxwell. So, you know, this big document dump that we've been talking about for the longest time, and where is it, and where, and they're holding off on it, and the judge allowed her attorneys to appeal. So there's going to be a hearing in late September. So that's going to be the next update on where we're at with this document dump. But now this attorney general wants to get a peek at it because the U.S. Virgin Islands are taking action against the Epstein estate because his island is down there in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and they're considering what he did an ongoing criminal enterprise, which is super interesting because if you listened or watched the last podcast episode that we had with Dylan Howard, it's spectacular. I will link it in the description on our YouTube channel. He basically was talking about the fact that Ghislaine and Jeffrey were spies, and that it wasn't just the sexual acts that they were doing, but it was also this other enterprise of information that was being exchanged. His book is crazy, by the way.
I want to read it.
Yeah, I mean, go to anthonyonair.com. We got a link in there to buy it. Lots of crazy stuff in there, but it's very interesting that, we've really kind of been solely focused on these young women, these children, these underage girls, which is a very, unfortunate thing and rightfully so to be focused on. But I think we've kind of forgotten about there is this whole other aspect to it, that there's this other criminal aspect to it. And that's what some of the things that Dylan Howard was bringing to our interview. Again, like I said, go listen to that last podcast episode. It was a lot of fun talking to Dylan Howard.
And he's definitely like 100% better than Mesa.
I wasn't bitter at all.
No, I'm serious.
Well, I mean, he's a journalist. He's, he was a guest. He wasn't,
Maybe after I write my book,
there you go.
I'll be better too.
You'll see. Like, get a couple of books under your belt, and let's see how. And then we'll compare you guys together.
Stay tuned.
Then we'll see how it goes. The Attorney General Denise George, right there. You can see her. We're showing you. There you go. She looks like somebody who could nab a massive spy and sexual deviant. So she is seeking access to these documents now. So she wants to get a peek at these things before this gets ruled on for September on whether it gets released publicly or not. And I find that to be interesting because usually it's the Department of Justice, and obviously not usually, but that is what's happening here. The Department of Justice are the ones that are prosecuting Ghislaine Maxwell. But now we have the U.S. Virgin Islands coming in and saying, hey, wait a second. We want to get a look at this. We are going to bring some litigation against the Epstein estate. And by the way, they're going after him. And, we talked about like the fact that he's selling the Miami house. They're selling the New York house. There's the in this article here that we got from the Miami Herald, who again has just done exquisite work in all of this. They were really like the main cogs that blew this whole thing open. They're saying that his estate is preparing a fund. They're setting up a fund similar to what's happening to the Boy Scouts. I'm sure if you hear commercials on the Boy Scouts talking about if anything happened to you or you were abused by Boy Scouts, there's a fund. They set up a date, which is coming up pretty soon, so that victims can get compensation. Right. Similar thing, it looks like, is what's going to be happening here in the Epstein estate. So we've been wondering about the brother. Why is he selling? Why is he doing all this? Maybe this is all in preparation for, the victims here are going to be receiving a bit of compensation for what they went through. So that's the absolute latest with Ghislaine Maxwell. And I wonder, too, you got to think if they start letting the Attorney General down in the U.S. Virgin Islands get a peek, if we'll start to get some leaks from that, or it'll be part of the process of, hey, this person needs to know, that person's going to need to know. So you know what? It needs to be put out in the public. And you know, it's interesting. After my talk with Dylan Howard, I really came to the conclusion that this stuff needs to be put out into the public immediately. I know that her attorneys are going to say, hey, it's not fair to us. But the fact of the matter is Lord knows who's involved in this, who aided in the cover up of this, and you know how extensive this network goes. You have to get as much information out into the public as possible in order to get to where we are at. Because the crux of what Dylan was saying is that this is as big of an embarrassment to the United States as anything that we've ever done, Bay of Pigs or any big flop we've ever done that we've kind of covered up. Exactly. Right. They're gonna prosecute this as much as they can, but at the same time keep as much as they can secret, because whoever was involved and helped aid this guy and Ghislaine do this, it's an embarrassment and it shouldn't have happened, and they're gonna keep it classified for probably as long as they can. Dylan says it a lot better than I did, and with an Australian accent too, which is quite appealing. And a lot of people said that
even
was
better.
Nice. Yeah.
Hello.
He's so much better than you now that I think about it, Janine. He's got the accent. He's got the glasses. I mean, God, he's just starting to win in every category.
He won, yes. I do have glasses. I just don't wear them. And I could attempt an Australian accent. Go put some shrimp on the barbie.
Good. I like how you stayed away from the stereotypical lines of Australia too. By the way, that was nice.
Definitely.
That was good. So that's the latest with Ghislaine Maxwell. So we're waiting to see what happens. Like I said, end of September now. At least we know when this appeal will be heard. And if anything else comes along in the meantime, we'll have it for you right here on the podcast. I want to talk about Joe Rogan as it's September 2nd. By the way, my son turns 5 today, so happy birthday, little guy.
Happy birthday.
Yesterday, Joe Rogan's podcast premiered not exclusively. I think he's still on Spotify, but on every other place. And then he goes exclusive eventually just to Spotify. But his podcast was never on Spotify, so it got introduced. The whole library got put on there. Joe Rogan told us the entire library was going onto Spotify. That was part of his $100 million deal. We still can't figure out if it's $100 million overall or if it's $100 million a year moving forward. God. It's a worthwhile move because, like we said in a previous episode, Rogan essentially paid for himself on the first day with how the stock options went up through the roof for Spotify. So it's a savvy, great move from Spotify. Content is king right now, and if you can get the big content producers, you can put a lot of ads to things while people are there on Spotify. They're going to check out other podcasts that they have, so on and so forth. But the snag is they did not put his entire library up. In fact, the most controversial episodes that he has are missing. Episodes with Alex Jones, episodes with Tommy Chong, episodes with Joey Diaz, Chris D'Elia, obviously in a lot of trouble lately for how he's treated women of age and not of age, which is an ongoing allegation against him that he has denied. We have to say that. His episode is not on there, so there's a lot of episodes that are missing from this. And according to Fox News, they reached out to both Joe Rogan and Fox and Spotify, and neither got back with a comment. It's not a great look for Rogan right now, and I'm a big fan of him, and he's a big proponent of free speech. And by the way, so am I. You know, I like listening to people that I don't necessarily agree with just to get their point of view. So
there's no cursing.
What do you mean?
Like on the Spotify, is that like censored out?
No, you can curse.
Oh, okay.
You can curse, but yeah, no, it's completely uncensored. But you know, like on YouTube, for instance, we try and not curse on this podcast, even though we do,
right?
Because it hurts the monetization process. Like, you know, if Ghislaine Maxwell is in there and you utter the F word, we are demonetized like that. And then we have to go for a review, and the review process is brutal. So it hurts our revenue, our bottom line revenue. So that's why, I've told Janine, I've told Frank, like, let's try not to curse if we can. But we do. I still do. It happens. It sneaks out, But YouTube is very big on demonetizing, especially when it comes to controversial topics, especially
Right.
like even if I just put Ghislaine Maxwell in the title, it's going to be demonetized, and then that costs us a lot of money. Similarly, Joe Rogan had the same exact complaints because he would talk about just nearly everything, which would cause them to be demonetized right away. And then he had to go and fight the process. And it's, again, it hurts a revenue stream. But there's a difference between being demonetized and being censored, because at least
Right.
YouTube doesn't take this material down for the most part.
Right.
They're allowing it to be out there. But Spotify, like, this is the only way Spotify could have screwed this up is by doing exactly what they did just now, by censoring this podcast, which has basically built its audience off of anything goes here. You can come here for conversation, right wing, left wing, And again, that's one of the things that I enjoyed so much about Joe is being somebody who is an independent. You could get a Ben Shapiro on there spouting all this right-wing stuff, or a Gavin McInnes or whatever, and then you could also tune in an episode later and get Bernie Sanders, and he's spouting all his crazy left-wing stuff. And
Right.
then at least you can be educated on what's happening in the world, or what these people are saying, and what's going on. And for
Right.
them to come out of the gate and not have these episodes on there.
So who's choosing which episode's gone?
Who indeed, Janine? Who indeed? I don't know.
You?
And are they going to, if it was me, I'd let everything go. And are they going to be censoring his stuff moving forward? I think is the even bigger question, because, okay, I don't agree with taking off past episodes that are important, but if he's going to have Alex Jones on again, are you not going to put it out? Because
it doesn't make any sense.
He's agreed to go solely through them. So basically, the only way his podcast is coming out, he's going to take it off of Apple Podcasts, he's going to take it off of Google Podcasts, he's going to take his feed off of everywhere and just have it on Spotify eventually. Why would he agree to do that if somebody is going to censor?
Take it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he built this lane. One of the great things about doing this is that nobody controls it but the people that are doing it.
It's kind of like Howard Stern, right?
Yeah.
Like when he used to get in so much trouble for what he did, and then he tried to go another station, right? Or he just went straight to Sirius.
He went to Sirius.
Right. So then no one could tell him what to do then.
Yes and no, because that was basically how it was sold to him, and that was basically what he did, and he could curse, and it was a lot more free reign. But you're still talking about a company that has a board of directors and has stock, and there's responsibility there. So you really can't just do whatever you want. Now he certainly has a lot. I'm talking he probably 99% can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
But there is that little itty bitty nugget there that he's got a boss to answer to. His boss has a board of directors to answer to. The board of directors are worrying about the stock price. So, he can't, if they were like, hey, you can't have a porn star on, or you can't do this, or it's not good to do this anymore, then he's not going to do it.
Right.
Howard is a great guy. Right?
No, he is. I love him.
He's phenomenal. Hey, we're all fans. He was nice enough he's done wonders for my career. If you don't know, Google Anthony WEHM Howard Stern. It'll come up. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere.
Amazing.
Phenomenal for me. But the truth of the matter is he's a great company person. So he would definitely fight the people that were right above him. But the people, the owners, the money people, I don't think he took a lot of those people on. And rightfully so. This is not a critique. This is like, why would you slap the hand that feeds you?
Right.
You know, so he was a rebel. But there's a difference between him and Joe Rogan can literally do anything he wants.
Right, because it's his show.
It's his show. He could be censored.
Like you.
He could be censored on YouTube, but he could just take the video and put it directly on his website. There is nobody stopping him.
What to do. Yeah.
He could lose his, MMA gig, if they didn't want to be associated with him anymore. But he doesn't care because he's making so much from his stand-up in the pot. Exactly. Netflix may not want to give him a special, maybe not HBO. So he could definitely lose money, but he's put himself in a position where it doesn't matter because he's
he makes
free.
So much money.
Yeah. He is more free than Howard Stern, for those who don't know.
He is.
And like I said, Howard's about 98% free. So he's got a pretty good deal himself, but he's more free. And when he signed this deal, some of us in broadcasting were kind of like, this is interesting because you are still giving, you're giving over some control. And then he came on and said, everything will be available. Nothing on the show will change. I maintain creative control, blah, 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 this and that. And here we are day one. And some of his most
is not there.
Enlightening stuff and controversial stuff is not there. That's not what his show is about.
No.
So super awful move from Spotify. And by the way, I say this, we're doing this on September 2nd. He just started yesterday. He hasn't commented on it. I'd be very curious to see whose decision it was. Did he say, okay, this is a lot of money, this is worth it, who cares, that's an old episode, people can find it on YouTube if they really want it, we're going to just go moving forward? Or did Spotify do this behind his back?
Right.
Because I wonder if Rogan has the balls to be like, thanks, but I'm out. Here's your money back.
Take your 100 million.
Yeah. Right. Does he have that? I don't know if I would have those balls.
No, I definitely wouldn't.
Those are some unique balls.
Big balls.
That's what she said. All right. Carole Baskin is going to be on Dancing with the Stars season 29.
I cannot wait.
With Nelly and Charles Oakley of the Knicks and anybody who's had a scrap of controversy over the last year or so. I think this list is just embarrassing. Just D-list all the way.
This is what 2020 has come to.
Yeah, I'm not in the Dancing with the Stars demo. Do you watch Dancing with the Stars, Janine?
Not like religiously. Depending on who was on it, I would watch it. But this one, 100%.
You're gonna watch? I just
Carole Baskin.
It's gonna be so
definitely embarrassing. God, I don't even know who would make it even better. Joe Biden. Huh?
Where?
I'm going on dancing. Who?
I'm doing what dance?
Oh wait.
I'm looking forward to dancing against Donald Trump tonight. No, that's the debates. That's not this, Joe. That's not this one.
No.
Carole is one of the. She's going to be a tragic figure because it's like you have no business being famous, and now you're kind of a little bit famous, and now you kind of
killed your husband.
Yeah, you may allegedly killed Janine. Meant allegedly killed your husband. Her husband. And now you got a taste of it, and the only reason why you do this is because you want to maintain your celebrity status, and that's awful. Because
only reason you go on Dancing with the Stars.
Everybody's going to be people go on for different reasons, right? Oakley's going to be the goofy athlete who can't really do it. He'll be voted off in like 2 or 3 episodes, and it'll be fun for him. He'll say it was fun. He'll get his little payday. He'll be happy. But she's going to be like, she can't dance. She's going to be awful. And
this is going to be a train wreck. I can't wait.
Everybody's going to laugh at her, and she's doing it for what? Like, she's got money. So she's clearly doing it for like the fame of it all.
Let's see how much she was paid to do this.
Yeah, that's what I would. More than watching this show and finding out who wins, I want to know how much each one of them is getting paid. Because they're not all getting paid the same amount of money.
No, she definitely got paid way more than anyone else.
Yeah, probably. I would probably say you're right about that. She shouldn't be, but I would probably say you're probably right about that.
I
I
know.
I would say that the Backstreet Boy guy got a lot of money too. AJ
Wait, which
McLean,
one? Oh yeah.
AJ. Because weren't is he the last one? Is he the only standout? Like, haven't all the other Backstreet Boys been on, or like most of them, or whatever?
That I don't know.
Wasn't Joey Fatone a host at one point? I feel like that happened, but I
Maybe,
don't know.
yeah.
It's all
Another
basically
word.
a blur. Vernon Davis, again, another athlete, and Haish. The Bachelor's Caitlin Bristow. Is she a big deal? I don't even know who she
I don't
is.
even know who that is either.
Johnny Weir, the figure skater. Wasn't he on already? Didn't he
Yeah,
do it?
wasn't he on already?
I thought he did that already. Nev Schulman from Catfish.
What?
Yeah, the guy who hosts the Catfish show on MTV. You ever see that show?
Yeah, of course I watched it.
It's weird because he was accused of sexual misconduct, but then it kind of just went away. I don't know. I guess he
Right.
maybe he
Was
didn't do it. I don't know.
wait, wasn't it? Wait, he got catfished, right?
He got catfished, which started it all, or him or the other guy. I think there's another guy involved.
And then he developed a show at MTV, right?
Well, I think it was
About
a
catfishing.
yeah. It might have been a documentary first, and then MTV is like, "Hey, this is good. You can make this episodic." And I think that's what he did, but I could be wrong about that. Could have just went straight to MTV.
Weirdos.
But he basically helped develop the term catfish.
Right.
So yeah, I will not watch Dancing with the Stars. I will ignore this. I will ignore season 29 like the previous 28 seasons. But I will watch that 5 minute clip when it pops up on YouTube or Entertainment Tonight or whatever that somebody
Me
did the
too.
embarrassing dance. I'll keep up with it that way.
Definitely have to watch Carole
Yeah,
Baskin.
Carole Baskin. I bet you Joe is just flipping his shit in prison right now.
Come on, Carole Baskin on Dancing with the Stars.
Guess who's on that bitch, Carole Baskin? Yep,
Mm-hmm.
Joe. Yep,
God.
that's it. And maybe, you know what? Maybe that's why she's doing it, because the greatest thing that she could do is be as famous as Joe wanted to be.
Definitely.
And he can't because he's in prison now. So she's going to be just
I'll
scoop it
show
up.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, whenever he gets out, he'll be on Dancing with the Stars 46 or whatever it is. It'll be
I
wonderful.
can't wait for him to be on it too.
Yeah. Dancing with the Stars. You get to 29. Clearly, Dancing with the Stars is never going away, everybody. Okay.
No.
We're going to be dealing with this for the rest of our lives.
Right.
It's the uncancelable show. It's just never. ABC may drop it, just like American Idol. Fox or somebody else can come scoop it right up, or
Pick it right up.
yeah, HBO Max or somebody will grab it. We're gonna be dealing with Dancing with the Stars for the rest of our lives.
No.
Thanks a lot. Lastly, vacations in 2020. We both are back from our mini vacations. Mine was 3 days. How many days did you go for, Janine? 4?
4 days.
4 days. Okay. Janine went to Hershey, Pennsylvania. I went to Rhode Island, which was nice because I didn't even know that we still owned Rhode Island. I thought we sold it off back in '09 to cover the debt of the mortgage crisis. So
That's true.
when I learned that we still owned it, I was like, oh, this is great. We should go visit there.
Let's go there.
Yeah. So
All right.
it felt like we were about to sell it, though, if we didn't. Like, if we never actually sold it, I don't want to make Rhode Islanders
Close.
feel bad, but yeah, there was talks.
Yeah,
There
definitely.
Canada was interested. But anyway, you went to Hershey, Pennsylvania and stayed in the Hershey Hotel. How was that process?
I actually stayed in the Hershey Lodge.
The Hershey Lodge. Oh, that's right. Which is a Hershey Hotel. But I
Correct.
meant a Hershey Hotel, but there is actually
yes.
the Hershey Hotel and the Hershey Lodge, right? Okay.
Right.
So how was the Hershey Lodge?
So I was a Karen and I complained. Excuse me, can I speak to your manager?
Did you?
Yes.
When you first got there?
No.
Okay,
This
good.
we checked in on a Wednesday and on Friday I complained.
What was the problem?
There was just a lot of different ones. I'd say the biggest thing was checking in. We checked in at 2:30 on Wednesday. Check-in was until 4. Fine. They told us they would text us when it was ready. Okay. My brother-in-law got his room. At 4 o'clock, I called. Not ready yet. Okay, fine.
So somebody in your
4:30.
party they got
Yes.
their room and you didn't get yours because
Yes.
they're like, look at this Karen, look at this meth head Karen. We're gonna just make her wait.
Um, so finally I get a text and it says to come back to the front desk.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, they already gave me keys. So I called and the woman was very rude to me. I just said, can you just let me know where the room is? And she's like, I can't let you know. I'm like, I'm just curious if it's close to the other room. So I don't want to have to bring my bags all over. I can't let you know. Come to the front desk and get new keys. I was like, okay, fine. Get the keys. We go into our room. There's no pack and play in there, which I already asked on the phone when I made the reservations.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. The biggest thing was we didn't have no microwave in the room, which again, when I called and made the reservations, they said there was. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have a few drinks, calm down a little bit. And the restaurant situation at the hotel, it was an hour wait each night, at least.
Really?
So, yes. So we had to take out food and eat it like in the lobby area. Like, so they had a hotel bar,
Yeah.
but it wasn't open. So we had to like find seats to eat around there. All of us.
And it was a fairly big group. What was it? 8? Was it 8 adults?
8 adults and 8 children.
So 16 of you had to do takeout food and sit around the bar. Oh my God. Was there a lot of people like in the lobby in the bar area? Were there a lot of people there?
Yes, and I actually heard a couple of people complaining like we can't make a reservation and we it's just annoying.
Yeah.
And I understand COVID. So the thing is we come back from dinner that night and we had one of the rooms that connected to outside and inside. And our hotel door going outside was fully open. And we were like, what the hell? And I don't know if my husband forgot to close the door.
Right.
But wouldn't you, if you saw a hotel door open, wouldn't you tell the management?
So when you mean when you first checked in, or you already checked in, you put your stuff in the room, you left,
right,
you
and
come back, the door's open. What is it? Is it like a balcony? Or is it open to the balcony?
No. So our room was on a hill, so it was kind of sloped down. So our room actually had a door to go outside too.
And it was open.
Yep.
Oh man, somebody came rummaging through your shit.
Right. I was like, But if I saw one open, I would tell the manager at the hotel, this door's been open. There's something wrong,
Yeah.
The thing that pissed off me more, which I didn't find out until Saturday or Sunday, my husband's phone broke when we were away completely.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't turn on. So his office overnighted a phone. It was delivered at 7:15. Right before we went to the park, about 9:45, he went to go see where it was, and they told him they didn't get it yet.
And it was there.
Yep. So, I will be writing the manager another email about this. Anyway, Friday night, I said, let me speak to the manager. And I told him, I was like, listen, I'm not trying to be a Karen. I understand COVID. But what the hell, man? And he understood, though. And then we also asked for towels twice, and we never got them. Because I don't know about your hotel, they were not cleaning the rooms in between the days you came and you left.
Right.
So they only cleaned the rooms when you left.
Because they don't want another person being in the room spreading germs around. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Sounds great. How was the park itself, though? Was it fun?
Oh, wait. I do want to say,
yeah,
the manager gave me 25% off my stay.
Oh, so that was nice. A little concession.
Yes.
Okay.
And shout out to him.
So he made a gesture.
Mm-hmm. The park was hot as a ball sack. but it was good.
And you had to wear your mask the whole time.
Yeah,
But you wore it like an asshole, just without your
of
nose
course I
in it.
did.
Oh, I can't stand you. Absolutely can't stand you.
No,
I have
I was
I
drinking a lot, so I wasn't wearing it all. Like, you know,
Yeah. Now let me ask
go
you a
ahead.
question, because again, I saw the video. I saw a video of somebody vlogging from Hershey Park. Practically nobody was wearing. Like 25% of the crowd I saw was not wearing a mask.
Oh no, I'd say everybody was wearing one.
Really?
The only
Okay.
part where you didn't have to wear it was the water park part. Like it
Okay.
wasn't enforced there.
Right.
So I did not wear it there.
Now, what about when you were in the hotel and like walking around the hotel, you had to wear it?
You had to wear it. Yeah.
And then when you're eating, though, like how many people are you around? A lot of people when you're eating in that area?
I mean, the tables were spaced out pretty well. So,
No, but
like,
I'm
you're
saying
not,
like when you went to the
unt-
bar, like that barish kind of area, were you at a table or were you guys all just like wherever you could grab a seat?
so there was tables there.
Oh,
So
so
you were able to get your own table and sit.
you found a table for 16
Yes.
people?
Well, no.
Oh,
The first night we ate outside, and then the second night only two couples were there, and then the third night again two couples. So yeah.
I am so glad that I did not go with you. This was everything that I wanted to avoid.
Here's the thing though, like that part wasn't horrible.
Hmm.
Ooh, wax on, wax off. Um, because it wasn't like you were waiting such a long time for the tables. Plus, you could go outside, and there was tables outside too.
Right.
Now they did have an indoor water park, which was good because there was like a bar right there too with food, so that
Right.
was good.
So it was a nice little
Hershey,
COVID breeding ground, basically, is what you're.
even Hershey though, like it wasn't that crowded either.
Really?
No, it really wasn't.
What was the longest you waited on a line to get on a ride?
If well, I don't go on roller coasters, but the guys maybe 15 minutes.
That's it? That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good.
Right.
But the video I saw, there was no spacing on the lines. Like people were all jammed together. The switchbacks, they weren't blocking off the switchbacks. So like if you went this way and you made a turn, you were basically right next to other people that were coming in the other way.
I don't know because I actually wasn't on the line for the rides.
Yeah.
Um, I know for the Comet, I think it was 15 minutes again. See the whole thing that's dumb is for the water park, you don't have to wear your mask,
Right.
but there's like not an area where you have to like not be on top of each other. But people weren't really doing that. You know what I mean?
Were they keeping their distance and their space?
They were.
I got to tell
Hmm.
you, where I was, it was it was amazing. Like everybody was fantastic. Like not only the hotel, but like the people were great. So the
They
first
were.
thing,
Okay.
the first thing that we noticed, we get into town, and we go to this like just like lobster shack, and I order food, and it's like everybody's distant and everybody's asking. First of all, we got there at like 11 o'clock in the morning. That was the other thing too. We were like, we wanted to go someplace that was like you can separate, and it wouldn't be a lot of people. Like Hershey was going to be like a lot of people, or like a
I
theme
really
park.
didn't feel that way though. I really didn't.
Well, and even if it wasn't busy, it was still more people than what I wanted to even
Yeah.
like. I wanted like nobody around. So we get there at like 11. It was like, great, this is before lunch, so there's not even going to be a rush at this restaurant. So we go and we order. A woman hands me a pen. She grabs a pen, wipes it with a disinfectant wipe, and hands me the pen and goes, "Can you write your name and phone number on this notebook?" And I go, "For what?" She goes, "Contact tracing." And I was like, "Oh."
No, really?
I was like, "Okay, yeah." Dude, they were to the letter of the law. Every single place that we went to. I was like, nope,
Really?
no problem. Wrote my name down. We sat at a table that wasn't outside, but it was every window was open, every door was open. It was practically like it was outside, and they were all spaced out. And then they hung like plastic sheets in between each thing. But like I said, there was
Really?
literally two other people on the opposite side that were there when we were there. We get into the hotel, go to check in. I park in the front, run inside. Hey, I'm here to check in. We were super early. The guy goes, no problem. He goes, who's in your party? I go, my wife and my two kids. He goes, can you bring them in? Do you mind? I said, no, I'll bring them in. I was like, you need them? He goes, yep, I need to see everybody. Okay. Walk out. By the way, there was an automatic door and then there was a regular door. A guy was opening the door for you, so you have to touch the door. We all go in. They gave us forms to fill out, name, address, phone numbers, everything.
Really?
Yeah, the whole 9 yards. He took a look at everybody. Nobody looked sick. I mean, I don't know what looking sick would look like, but yeah. You would have definitely been. He would have been like, you can't come in with her.
They're like, what's wrong with her?
So we go in, and then we go into the elevator. And what I noticed after a little while, and I don't know if you had this experience or if you even had an elevator, nobody was sharing elevators. There was no sign that said don't share an elevator, but we went in and there was one person and they just waited. And I was like, look at that. That was really nice of that person to just wait. And every single time we took an elevator and then we started doing the same thing, we would not get in an elevator with another person. And the elevators were super, super fast. We had the same thing.
I did notice that.
You guys had that? You had that?
Yes, but I didn't do that. Come on.
You're such an ass. I can't.
Not all the time, but I did see that.
Every single time. So we also had the nobody cleaned the room thing, but at one point I needed a towel, so I peeked my head out of the room and I saw housekeeping and I was like, can I just bother you for a towel? And she goes, yeah, no problem. And her car was on the other side. So she goes to go to the other side. I ran inside to get my mask to walk with her, so she'd have to walk all the way back with it. And by the time we caught up to each other again, she was handing me like a whole nother set of towels, like hand towels. I was like, no, I just need like one towel. She's like, okay, here you go.
That's it.
Super, super nice. But every restaurant that we went to took our phone number.
Really? That's so crazy.
Every single one of them did, yeah. But
No,
everywhere
we
we ate was outdoors and was spaced out. And
really? Okay.
We ate like kings, Janine. Oh my God.
I know. I want to go there for the food too.
Dude.
It was good.
We had the absolute, without a doubt, best lobster roll I have ever had in the history of lobster rolls. And it was the cheapest that I ever paid for a lobster roll.
How much was it?
Beach Shack where we were at. So not even a restaurant. It was like the grab chicken fingers and fries place. Sold a lobster roll for $20. That was it.
Oh my God, that looks good.
If you see right there, that's tail meat. When was the last time you had lobster tail meat in a lobster roll? We were guessing that it was at least 2 lobsters plus 1 tail. And it was $20 with fries.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
It was insane. And then we had this, we went to this other place for like a nice dinner. And we had this lobster carbonara. Oh my God. It was
Oh yeah, that looks good.
Die for. This was the thing that I was like, we have to come back here because I'm not going to stop dreaming about this meal until I have it again.
We went there a few years ago.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, and then
this
was in Connecticut. This was at our normal stop. Whenever we go up to Connecticut, we go to the same lobster place. It's a shack. This was a scallop BLT.
Oh God.
The scallop's kind of very brown there. That was super tasty. So we ate our faces off the entire weekend.
Don't blame you.
And it was nice. We did the beach. It was very relaxed. The sand was super soft. You know, we were worried because
now I want to go there.
On the way there,
just me and Gaetano though.
Yeah, don't go with anybody else. But on the way there, we were reading reviews, and they were like, "Oh, the beach smells, and there's brown tides." We were like, "Oh shit!" But when we got there, there was no smell, and everything was like great.
I wanted to go to the beach there too.
Yeah, the hotel was great. Honestly, the 2 things that I can complain about, they had fire pits at the hotel. They had 2 fire pits that we were like, kind of like, oh, we want to sit around them. You couldn't because they had like their restaurant was like use it. They had tables all around them, and then whoever
So you
like
couldn't.
whoever's like sitting at the table just kind of stayed there and like hogged the fire pit for the rest of the night. I mean, our kids passed out, so it didn't really matter. But I was like, this is kind of like that would suck because you can't really just kind of like go there and try and grab a
Do
spot.
what you want to do, right?
Yeah, and then there was like a shuttle that took you right into the downtown area. And so we were like, all right, let's take the shuttle in instead of taking the car the first night just to kind of see what's what. And everybody crammed into the shuttle. And so we were like, forget it. We're not going to take that. But even then, the shuttle guy was like, you know what? Because he ran one shuttle an hour. He's like, I'll be right back in 15 minutes. I'll come bring you guys to the town.
Okay.
And so he took us into town and it was no problem. And then on the way back is when my wife opened up a stranger's car door. Because she thought it was,
Oh, D.
she thought it was an Uber. We're like going back. We missed the time. And I was like, the kids are exhausted. I'm like, we can't sit here for another hour waiting for this shuttle to come. So I'm like, let's just order an Uber. I had did you have internet issues up in Hershey? Here in my home, I'm having, not in my home, but like around Long Island where I live, I'll go out. I'll have 4 bars and no internet. It just will not work.
Oh, that's weird.
Ever since the tropical storm that passed by a couple of weeks ago. There's
Really?
been something going on. But when I went up there and it was the same thing. There was a lot of people like in the downtown area. So I had nothing. She wound up getting bars. So she orders an Uber. She's never ordered an Uber before. We see this guy come around. He's got the make and model, but I'm like, his car's kind of old and crappy. That's not really Uber's thing. He goes around slow. She thinks it's him. She goes after him. He kind of keeps going. So she's like, all right. She walks back. He comes around for a second time. She's like, okay, it's definitely him and he's definitely looking for us. And he stops. She opens the door and he goes, I'm not a cab.
Then why are you going around twice?
It was fantastic.
That's hysterical.
Yeah, it was so funny. So,
oh my God.
But yeah, we had a good time. But it sounds like you had a good time. Like you got to do what you wanted to do, drink and go around the park and everything.
Well, see, that was the good part. So you could drink in Hershey.
Yeah.
There are beers, Founders, and Trogs.
Yeah.
And they did like have spiked fruit punch sloshies. That's what they called them. And they had Chick-fil-A, which was good.
First class all the way. I mean, dear Lord.
I mean,
I'm embarrassed I whipped out the lobster carbonara picture when if I'd have known you were rocking such a style.
I mean, I like amusement parks.
Yeah.
Even though I don't go on the roller coasters. I did go on some water things.
Right.
And they were disinfecting the tubes after every rider.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I did see that.
How'd the kids like it? Because you still got super young kids.
Well, I took my niece with me on that, and she wasn't too happy about waiting. And I was like, do you want Corona or do you want to have a good ride? No. She just wasn't happy about the wait, which I wasn't really happy about the wait either, but
yeah,
she got to go on the best tube on there. I screamed a curse the whole way down, which made her laugh.
All right, good. So it sounds like you had a good time. So vacation is possible in the time of COVID-19.
Yeah, there's a few snags, but overall, it was good. But I'm saying next time, no kids, just me and Gaetano.
How was the hotel? Was it skeevy or was it clean and nice?
No, it was clean.
It was clean?
Mm-hmm.
Was it nice?
It was...
It was old, right? They're a little old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Older, yes. But not skeevy. So...
Yeah, we found this hotel and it was new. So I was like, yes, absolutely. And then we found a historic hotel that was like, I think it was 5 stars. It was a great price and it was right in downtown and it was super tempting. And I was like, oh, maybe. But the thing that got me, I was like, it's not new.
I know, that's the whole thing.
Something about new that's kind of like, this hasn't been as diseased as the older places, you know?
It's not new.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And plus they didn't have their pool open, I don't think, which our place did. So that was kind of the other thing. It's like you need a pool when you got kids.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing like just taking, even if you have like a half hour to spare, you just go, all right, let's run down to the pool, throw the kids in the pool for a little bit, and they're super happy.
Drink up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right, Jay Sabs, I guess we'll leave it there. Good to have you back. People were asking about you.
They thought I was in rehab.
Yeah. I think I said that you died at one point. I forget now. I just kind of say the stupidest things I could think of.
Oh God!
But it's good to have you back. Frank died. That actually happened.
He's gone.
But he lived a good life.
He did.
Not really, but he could have done more. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. You have to tune in next episode to see if we're lying or not. AnthonyDownAir.com has all our links and information. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening, and we'll see you on the next episode.
I don't know what I'm doing.